Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Gargi Raut and I'm joined by Boria Mujumdar. And we're here at the Old Trafford Stadium. We've just witnessed a very intense practice session of the Indian team. It's match day -2. It's the first official practice session before we head into the fourth test, and a lot of questions lingering when it comes to Akash Deep's fitness. And we've done a video and it looks at this point that's the biggest talking point. We saw Akash Deep climbing up those stairs.
Easier for you, no? Otherwise, you'll have to turn.
No, I won't turn much.
Yeah.
But yeah, we saw Akash Deep going up the stairs of the dressing room and he was completely limping. He had to take the support of the railings to go up the stairs. He had a long, about a 20-25 minute session alone with the team physio, with Mone Mokal. He bowled from both ends at the centre wicket and wasn't bowling full tilt. It was not a very high intensity bowling session, but at the same time, it seems unlikely that Akash Deep will make way into the playing 11. What are your thoughts about that?
I don't see him playing. I mean, from what I've seen, I thought that was the fitness test.
Yeah.
I thought that was the first fitness test, maybe one more tomorrow. But from what I've seen, highly unlikely that Akash Deep will play. Very disappointing for him, unfortunate for him. But what you just said, I mean, he was holding the two sides of the rail. In fact, when you came, that was the second time you were, by the way, Gargi was at the nets while I was doing live inside and watching Jasprit Bumrah do a separate session and Akash Deep. That's when I was quite taken aback because the way he walked towards that net session, and I said to who was with me, Rohan and Trisha were with me at that point, saying, I don't see this guy playing at all. There's no chance. I'm saying unlikely because we are not the selectors here or the management, but let me put it this way. If Akash Deep is able to recover from this and goes on to play, then it is a miracle. It is an absolute miracle. I don't see Akash Deep playing, Gargi. I don't.
No, and you can tell by the way that he's walking. If he's having trouble going up the stairs, you can't expect him to bowl a 7-8 over spell. You can't. I don't think that's happening. And while he was bowling as well, he was not bowling full intensity. He was bowling actually very cautiously. You could tell that there was some cautiousness in his step and it just did not look good for Akash Deep. I don't think he's making it. Now let's talk about Rishabh Pant here. Rishabh Pant and the slip cordon. Now Rishabh Pant, we did not expect to see him keeping the wickets, but Rishabh Pant wore his gloves and did another long, 20-25 minute catching session, or let's say wicket keeping drill session with the slip cordon alongside him. Karun Nair at first slip, KL Rahul at second slip, Shubman Gill and Sai Sudarshan at that gully position. Later, after some time, Yashasvi Jaiswal also joined the slip cordon, but at this point it looks like Karun Nair is getting another long rope, or let's say another chance in the team, because again we keep making this point and this has been one of the most important, a point that helps us 11, and it has happened before. Karun Nair in that slip cordon practice has been in slip 1 position and has always made it to Nitish Kumar Reddy. Now his absence, Sai Sudarshan was at the gully position, Yashasvi Jaiswal also, but Karun Nair, he's making it to the team for
completely evident now, and it's fair also because we've been saying maybe one more rope. He's blunted the new ball, unfortunately has not been able to go ahead and convert. Could this be his game? And he does kind of make amends. 26, 31, 40 and 13, right, is what he's got. So each time getting into double figures, sometimes batting 70 balls, sometimes batting 48, 50 balls, 60 balls. So clearly if somebody is able to bat for 45, 50, 60, 70, 80 balls, he's not in, he's in. And thereafter comes that momentary lapse of concentration, especially either at the stroke of lunch or at the stroke of tea, and Karun Nair or towards the end of the day's play, and Karun Nair loses his wicket. So he has to redeem that. He has to redeem that sort of lapse of concentration or improve his temperament. But I do see Karun Nair getting a game. I absolutely agree on this point. You asked about Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant went to the wickets after finishing the batting when I was recording that Memories of Manchester, he came and heard the show. He went straight to the wickets. Very Rishabh Pant, very Rishabh Pant. So Rishabh Pant finished the nets, came back, and with his kit bag went straight to the main wicket and did some shadow batting. That is Rishabh Pant's basic drill ahead of every test match. And that is exactly what Rishabh Pant did this morning also. Not morning, it's afternoon here in the UK. This is about half an hour back. Went up to the Indian dressing room, which is just on our left here. Rishabh went out around and then kind of chatted with us for a pretty long time. Jasprit and I chatted for a fairly long time. He said, asked how we were, and I said when I'd gone back to India, he said how much I would have loved to spend time with my son as well. And then he was going after Devashish, saying, "Arey, in Manchester, why are you wearing Forest? You should have worn City or United." And I said, yeah. And the funny part is the whole year he wears United. He said, so he clearly wants to be the odd man out and wants to be different. So that was Jasprit's thing. And then he said, what are you recording? And I said, I'm recording a special on Sachin Tendulkar's 100 in 1990. He said, I wasn't born then. I was born in 93. He said, more reason for you to listen to it. So it was good fun. I mean, the banter, the spirit. Rishabh was in fine fettle, absolutely fine fettle. And it is
Rishabh
great to
always
see.
is.
It's
Rishabh
no that injury was bothering him. That is no longer the case.
Yeah.
So that's kind of sorted. So that injury is not an issue anymore. But my team, two
Even
changes. One, Akash Deep goes. Anshul Kamboj comes in. And yes, I know Devashish was telling us that Prasidh Krishna. But I think on a wicket like this, where more swing rather than hit the deck, I think Anshul Kamboj makes it for me. I want to wait till tomorrow to see a little bit more of Anshul Kamboj, but that's what I think, number one. And number two is obviously Nitish Kumar Reddy goes out and Shardul Thakur comes in. Because again, a wicket like this, Shardul Thakur is a kind of a straight swap. Uh, should be a good bowling option, at least in the first couple of days with cloudy conditions, not too much sun, not too much rain, but cloud cover and all. So Shardul Thakur, I would want to watch Shardul Thakur do some better batting. I would want to watch that. But for me, these are the two changes as far as I am concerned now. So that's my 11.
Talking about Anshul Kamboj, we keep talking about that main net where all today it was Anshul Kamboj who started alongside Mohammad Siraj, Jasprit Bumrah, and Shardul Thakur. So you
Why don't you give a lowdown? Because I was inside, and that's why I said that you had gone and you spent a lot of time, and that's how it should be. That you were there at the nets when I was doing that live. Give people an absolute lowdown.
I was constantly pushing out videos as well. You can go on our platform and see that I have done these short videos and explaining what is going on in those net sessions. So you had 3 nets as always. One was for throwdowns where the batters would come in, get their throwdowns and go to the nets. One was the pacers net, the other was a spinners net. Now in the pacers net, you had a KL Rahul and Yashasvi Jaiswal, obviously your openers, rotating the strike. But I think the point here is, the highlight of the net session here is the fact that you had a Mohammad Siraj and a Jasprit Bumrah start, which is these two are playing together. Started the bowling, and it was not Prasidh Krishna started in that first 20-25. Anshul Kamboj who was bowling to KL Rahul and Yashasvi Jaiswal. Bowling very well. He was on his. Anshul Kamboj looked solid. Mohammad Siraj looked solid. Troubling KL Rahul at one point with his shorter deliveries and all of that. But I think we have to read into at least the fact that Anshul Kamboj started and Prasidh Krishna was just standing there. And while Anshul Kamboj and the rest of the bowlers were bowling, Shardul Thakur, Shardul Thakur, Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Siraj, Gautam Gambhir stood there and watched the nets the entire while. When I came back, I think around that time, Gautam Gambhir had slightly moved away from the net and was having conversation with other staff members. But when he was stood there watching that intense net session, it was Anshul Kamboj who was bowling, and Ryant and Doskate was on one side, T. Dilip was on one side, and they were constantly chatting with each other after every single delivery that Anshul Kamboj bowled. So clearly they were, talking about whether or not he makes it to the team, whatever the conversations are. But it was hint enough.
Any movement? Do you figure out?
Yeah.
He was?
He was getting movement. Unfortunately, we were side on. So you could not pick up the movement as much when we talk about lateral movement, but he was bowling very, very well with the new ball. Now in the other net, you had Sai Sudarshan and Karun Nair rotating the strike, and Kuldeep Yadav was bowling. He's always bowled match day -2. Ravindra Jadeja was bowling, and Washington Sundar was bowling. So this was the net situation, but obviously the highlight here is Anshul Kamboj.
That's how a net should be decoded, because and somebody said I'm looking upset. Not at all. I was intently listening because I wasn't at the nets. I was doing the live and watching Jasprit Bumrah do centre wicket practice here with Mone Mokel, and thereafter I was seeing and it was fantastic to see Jasprit do his drill. Gargi was at the nets, and that's what I was listening to. In fact, I have few more questions for her. So
Yeah.
when you said Anshul started, did you see, was he bowling with the newish ball, or
New
was he
ball.
new ball?
Absolutely new ball. You could read the Duke's ball written on it. It was that new. So all three bowlers, even Shardul Thakur was bowling with the new ball.
With the new ball?
Yes. So does that give you a hint? Where of course, Nitish Kumar Reddy now he's out. Shardul Thakur is a straight swap. So there is no question there. I think Shardul Thakur makes it to the team. But Anshul Kamboj.
Ahead of Kuldeep Yadav.
Yes. I think so. I think it's
That's what I've said as well. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to understand, because
because you also
with all this rain around, by the way, it's
Yeah.
clouded up again.
let me show you.
Yeah, I mean, it's clouded up again. It was quite bright and sunny some time back. With all this rain around, I absolutely don't see this wicket becoming a turner. I don't see this. I don't see this wicket becoming a turner. I don't see much help for Kuldeep Yadav. Yes, I understand that Kuldeep Yadav, even on any surface, can get the ball to spin and respin and all that. I do see that, but I do think that Shardul Thakur, being a better batting option, will switch,
Exactly.
tilt the thing in favor of the point that she's
Exactly.
just trying to make. Did Shardul bat at the nets?
Not
Not
when I
yet?
was there. He was bowling for a very, very long time. I think maybe
How was he bowling?
He was
He was
also
okay?
bowling well. Yeah. With the new ball, he was doing well. All of the bowlers
So,
actually
so,
bowled
so
very
just
well.
to decode the nets, you say it was Jasprit, Siraj, Shardul, and Kamboj bowling together.
with Gautam Gambhir, Ryan, and T. Dilip watching very, very closely,
Yeah,
bowling
that
to
definitely tells you something.
bowling to KL Rahul and Yashasvi Jaiswal. And we have made this point over and over again in those practice sessions that we've seen so far, that when there is a sort of a main net, let's say, where the real action starts happening, that's where Jasprit Bumrah bowls, Mohammad Siraj bowls, all the people that are the players that are likely to play will definitely be in that net. And if you're seeing an Anshul Kamboj bowl alongside Siraj, Bumrah, and a Shardul, I think that gives you a good hint about what is going to happen. Yeah,
Clearly, I mean,
yeah,
that is so. It's once again a four-pronged pace attack,
yes,
with one bowling all-rounder in Shardul Thakur, and the three. Anshul Kamboj, by the way, is also not a bad batter. Anshul Kamboj he's not a rank 11. So Anshul Kamboj is not one of those. Uh, he is someone who can order, give you runs. Will that kind of little bit in his favor ahead of Prasidh Krishna? Could be, because is not a bad batter. I don't know Ranji Trophy closely, but if you see Anshul Kamboj, he's not a bad batter at all. So that's something I would want to see. Anshul Kamboj's that how he's not going to be easy in these conditions. Obviously, it's not going to be easy in these conditions, but if you see his profile, he's not a bad batter at all. So that's something that should give you some. So, for example, in first class matches, he's got 100, got a 50. In first class matches, his average is about 16, 17. So, it's not bad with the highest of 50. T20s with 13, 14. So he's not a rank tailender like a Prasidh Krishna. So Anshul Kamboj can that also tilt. But more importantly, the bowling, as I think the swing. Will Anshul Kamboj start with Jasprit Bumrah? Possible. Because India went with Akash Deep and then changed in the second innings. Will Anshul, because Anshul in that match in Beckenham, was it in Beckenham? The first one?
Yeah.
Possibly, right?
Yes,
Beckenham.
yes.
Anshul Kamboj in that match in Beckenham, that warm-up game, intra-squad game rather,
5 wickets.
was bowling very well.
Was that the
Only
5 wicket match where he took 5 wickets?
five, maybe, but on day one, when
Yeah.
India started it, he was the only bowler who was looking to have impact against
Yes.
the English.
Yes.
He was moving the ball, beating the bat, unlike the others. I mean, Mukesh and who was the third bowler? Mukesh and there was a third bowler, Harshit.
Harshit.
Mukesh and Harshit wasn't looking the part to me. It was Anshul Kamboj who looked the most impressive. So I will not be surprised at all. My prediction is Anshul Kamboj getting a debut, Shardul Thakur making a comeback.
I also think so. I think that's the more likely thing because I've never seen Prasidh Krishna just stand there and watch the nets happen. I do not. I'm trying to recall the 3 practice sessions that we've seen, but I don't think. Do you recall Prasidh Krishna not starting with the ball? Even in the
At Lord's, did he start? Maybe not. You and I were doing it from the nursery
Yes.
ground, and you described Jasprit Bumrah was bowling there, Shardul Thakur was bowling there. Was Mohammad Siraj bowling
Yes,
that
he
day?
was.
Was he bowling? Maybe not. He was taking because the turnaround was he
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
there.
yeah, he
He and
wasn't there.
Akash Deep
Siraj
weren't
were,
there.
yes.
He and Akash Deep weren't there. So at Lord's, Shardul and Jasprit, Prasidh also did not perhaps bowl, did not because of the workload management
Yes.
issue, and Edgbaston had just ended. So these 3 bowlers who had played at Edgbaston weren't there at Lord's. Jasprit Bumrah and Shardul Thakur were both at the nets
Yes.
on match day -2 when both of us reported, and we did that live from the nursery ground. Yeah,
I think Prasidh Krishna had gone into bat.
he did bat, and he had gone up to the
Yes.
that Middlesex Cricket
Yes,
Academy.
yes.
He had gone to do some physio drills out there.
Yes,
There's a super chat.
Yeah, it's Ashish Punna. Ashish is saying KL Jaiswal, Nair, Karun
Nair,
Nair,
Gill.
Gill, Sai, Pant, Jaddu, Washington, Bumrah, Siraj, Anshul. England will not be prepared for Anshul and hence can create an impact. Sai should be in the 11 and Nair too. Sai can boost our batting versus Shardul. So you play both a Sai Sudarshan and a Karun Nair. Is that what Ashish is saying?
That's what Trisha also
Then
was
you're
saying to me,
one
that
less.
you have one less bowler, but Washington and Jadeja, can they do the job and hold one end up? Because Jadeja is not a bowler in these conditions, at least in the first 2. He can do the hold up job. And you have 3 bowlers in Jasprit. Are you not? This is a possibility. This is a certain possibility that you strengthen your batting with a Sai, who's a better batter than Nitish. He's a good gully fielder. He's a good option at the slip. So you get Sai in and you strengthen the batting that way. So Washington at 8 with solid 8 batters. Solid 8 batters, and then Anshul, Bumrah and Siraj are the 3 bowlers. This is not a bad option, but are you a bowler short? Will Shardul give you that bowling flexibility?
I think so. You need to have pacers against this English lineup and in these conditions as well, because you know how fickle the Manchester weather is. Right now, we were all talking about how hot it's been, and suddenly it's completely overcast.
Manchester will not single day.
Yeah,
Not
but
one
when
day.
the
Feel but the temperature
then
here will not.
suddenly-
It will not go up more than 21 on any of the match days. There you can see.
Yeah,
See, he's going up. Shardul, Dhruv, and who's that? Abhimanyu.
1 second.
Yeah. So Shardul with the bat, he's just finished his bat, going up along with Dhruv and Abhimanyu.
So, no, I do not see Karun and Sai. I don't see that happening. I think the only Sudarshan was in that slip cordon was once again when that replacements happen, when someone has to be subbed out. Sai Sudarshan can come in that last test match.
But that's a good suggestion. I mean, if India wants extra batting, that could be one logical possibility. See, frankly, that's the only contentious call at this point. Other than that, I don't see 1 to 8 select themselves, 7 select themselves. Jasprit and Siraj select themselves.
100%.
Anshul is the Anshul Prasidh call also, I think, will go in favor of Anshul given the condition. So 9 or 10 players select. I mean, only one possibility of Sai Sudarshan versus Sai Sudarshan and this guy Shardul Thakur. As far as Kuldeep Yadav is concerned, I don't see. In a wicket where there has hardly been I mean, come on, with so much rain around, Gargi has been here for what, 6 days now, 5 days
Yeah, it's
now?
been
16th you
half.
came in, today is the 21st. It's rained what, every day?
It's rained every single day. I think there was one day where there was drizzle, but it did not rain as heavily as it's been raining the other days. But it's very fickle. The weather changes on an hourly basis. It's suddenly cold, not cold. I wouldn't say cold, but it suddenly starts drizzling. There will be overcast conditions. As you can see right now as well, there are completely gray sky, gray clouds over us. It might rain any moment once again. There is rain prediction on the first day of the test match as well. So in these conditions, would you not have a Shardul Thakur? Would you go for a Sai Sudarshan? Now, think about this. You might have a Shardul Thakur in your team, but also in these conditions, batting will be difficult. So will you want to have a backup in Sai Sudarshan at number 3? So it's a tricky call.
It is a,
It's a
it's a very
very
tricky
tricky
call.
call because Akash Deep also now out. So you'll have to think about all of this very very carefully, very cautiously because Akash Deep not being there. If you're playing Anshul Kamboj, it is a gamble.
But it's a good one.
Experience.
Yeah,
It's a good one. But that's
it's a
not
it's
what
a
I'm
it's
saying.
it's
But
a it's a good he's a good replacement. I mean,
100%.
the thing is, see, at one point I was told Mukesh Kumar. What happened to Mukesh Kumar? Mukesh Kumar got a couple of matches, then Mukesh Kumar wasn't there. He was in, at one point in time he was even looked up as the replacement to Mohammad Shami. So when you are giving, but if you are giving someone an opportunity, give him a few opportunities.
Yeah.
And because Mukesh, for example, is somebody, all of a sudden, I mean, he bowled a couple of good spells in Test match cricket and didn't happen. But Anshul Kamboj, I think, is a good call. This is not a hit the deck wicket.
no, it's not.
It's not a hit the deck wicket that Prasidh Krishna would make merry. I think there's Mohammad Siraj good enough already to try the short ball if you
100%.
want to. Jasprit Bumrah
He
will.
was trying that today.
Correct.
In
So
the nets.
Jasprit Bumrah in any condition can bowl any kind of deliveries. So Jasprit Bumrah will forever be able to do that. So Anshul Kamboj gives you that movement and he's got that outswing. Who was it? Who was it in Calcutta? That was one delivery, landed on middle, took the top of off in Ranji Trophy. What game was it? Was it the semi-final? Possibly the semi-final.
Not sure.
Ranji Trophy semi-final. Was it the February match against Mumbai, Haryana Mumbai? Was it that game, or I don't know which? It was one of those games. I mean, where Anshul Kamboj I picked up and bowled beautifully. So Anshul Kamboj for me is a good call. Is a good call. Mone Mokel once again as we speak is going out to take a look at the wicket. But at the same time, I have to say this. This is an acid test. You don't have another opportunity. You lose this one, your series is
You're
gone.
done.
So that Shardul Thakur call, whether it is Shardul Thakur or whether it is Sai Sudarshan, could be a call that's a really tricky one. I just hope India gets it right.
Absolutely. We have a super chat from Sharan. He's asking roughly how many overs did Siraj and Bumrah bowl?
Gargi will have to answer
Just
this.
worried about their workload. Can for one more test. Now that is something that after this test ends, but if you're talking about not many overs, because obviously four bowlers were bowling in tandem, so you spend a lot about
But he bowled full
30
intensity,
full
right?
intensity, full run up, 30 40. You don't end up bowling a lot because other bowlers are bowling as well.
After that, he came here to the center wicket and
Yes.
bowled half an hour at least.
So 1
half
hour
an
in
hour.
total.
And by the way, he seemed in an excellent mental frame because he
Correct.
came down and he met us. So we kept walking together towards the Indian nets. As I said, I was recording one of our shows, and we started having a chat. And he was going after Devashish. He was going after Devashish, saying, "Why are you not wearing anything Manchester?" So Devashish being Devashish, he's having some apple or something at the moment. So Devashish being Devashish, he's wearing some Nottingham Forest or whatever. So he said, "Why are you wearing Nottingham Forest?" So, and I said, it's funny because all year he wears Manchester United. He said, "Arey, so he wants to be different." I said, "Possibly." So he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I am recording a show on Sachin's 100. And when? 1990, he wasn't born. So then he said, you'd gone back to India. So yeah, and he said, "I would have loved to spend a little bit of time with my son." So clearly he was in a good mood. He was in a good mental frame. There's no problem. He went once again back to the nets. I don't think Jasprit Bumrah is an issue. I don't think Mohammad
No,
Siraj is an issue.
not at all.
The issue is that third bowler. The issue is that fourth bowler. Who does who does sort of replace Akash Deep, number one, Anshul Kamboj? Can he take the pressure? This is Test cricket. This is not something else.
Weber Vatsa has sent a super chat. He's saying, what is your take on India versus Pakistan WCL?
My take is very clear, and I've made this take. I've made this point multiple times. Whoever planned this match, whoever planned this match, is insensitive and foolish. Not just that, is irresponsible and callous. You are talking about lives lost here. You are talking about one of the worst tragedies to have impacted our society and our country. This is not, and I was having a chat with Gargi from Dubai airport on this. This is not a match that is part of an Olympic Games 2028. This is not a match India versus Pakistan will play in the Women's World Cup in October in Colombo. This is not a match which is guided by some form of international charter. A Women's World Cup game is guided by that. It's an ICC tournament. If India doesn't play Pakistan in the Women's World Cup, you can put in sanctions against India. You can say that India as hosts refuse to play Pakistan, and that can go against India. It's the same as far as the Hockey Asia Cup. By the way, WCL has issued a statement which I'm sure all of you have seen, and it says that they got inspired by the fact that the Hockey Asia Cup was on, or the Junior World Cup was on, and the government of India had given Pakistan team the permission to travel. Now my point is, when India has Commonwealth ambitions, when India has Olympic ambitions, it is only natural that India will allow a team from any other country to come in. Because if you don't, then Pakistan has the potential of going out in an international forum and saying, oh, you know what, this is an Olympic Games, this is a Commonwealth Games, this is a Hockey World Cup, or whatever it is, and we are not being allowed to go despite qualifying. So how can India go on and host a Commonwealth Games or an Olympic Games? So they can put the Indian case in jeopardy. So you have to, keeping in mind diplomatic and international standards and part of international charter, go and play Pakistan when it comes to international events. Now, WCL is not. WCL at the end of the day is just one of those legends tournaments which has been done from scratch. It is, I don't want to say this, but at the end of the day, it has no official sanction whatsoever. Two legends, and I can't name them. Both of them came up to me at the Lord's press box. You guys can guess. Both of them came up to me at the Lord's press box and said, what's your take on WCL and India-Pakistan? And I said, it shouldn't happen, and I tell you, it will not happen. And both of them said, how can you be so sure? And I said, a political backlash is about to happen. I got calls in Calcutta. I was in India till yesterday morning. I got calls in Calcutta the night before, and Gargi will know story. 9/11 we had known was about to be cancelled. The result came almost late into the India, around 5 a.m. India, but we had reported at calls which pretty much told me that this is not happening. Politicians, if you had watched her video, Yusuf Pathan, a TMC MP, whether it is Harbhajan Singh and AAP, again a member of parliament, you can't. I mean, this is political harakiri of a different sort. You go ahead and play. You are all you can't do that. I mean, Pakistan.
The only thing that you have to look back on to understand the severity of this issue is obviously, one, the lives lost. The second part is, when the whole thing happened, when those terror attacks happened, there was no AAP, there was no BJP, there was no distinction. There was India. It was India. Every single opposition party was supporting the government at that point in whatever they were doing, be it an Operation Sindoor, be it the retaliation or whatever. And then you have two members of parliament going out there playing a match against Pakistan. That does not look right or does not reflect right on your country. It's not even about cricket, or it's not even about those two individual players at this point either.
You know what kind of rankles me, and I know that Bhaju withdrew first, I know after that Yusuf withdrew, Irfan withdrew. Irfan even wrote to me saying, "Bhai, main nahi khelunga." I know Shikhar withdrew, and Shikhar made the point on social media that in May he had announced it. Why not make it public?
Exactly.
Make it public. That whatever happens, we are not playing Pakistan. Why? Because these guys, these organizers kept putting on posters.
Why did you wait for the backlash to happen?
The point is that you guys are legends. Put it out in the public domain. That there was speculation even during Lords. There was speculation, is this match happening? Tickets were being sold, posters were being put out. Shahid Afridi, by the way, and I'm glad this question has come up. Shahid Afridi has the temerity to come and blame Indians today, saying sport should be beyond politics. Are you serious? Your country comes and takes innocent lives in India, guns down people, and thereafter you don't take responsibility for that and don't address that issue, and you are coming and saying that political things should be kept separate and sport should continue. Shahid Afridi, for God's sake, who has made political statements in the past? Bloody well. Today he's made a statement against India, saying even the previous night there was practice, etc., etc. Today, Shahid Afridi, of all people, and that's where I have issues. I have issues that the Indian legends should not even have entertained this thought at the very start. Why keep it till one day before to try and pull off? Why sort of, after the backlash, the social media, the media, people, etc. If you've decided to not play in May, put that out. Just say we are not interested in engaging with this rogue nation. Shahid Afridi, you can read this report. I'll quote from the point that Snehashish, our colleague, had sent it to me saying, "Sir, please read this." It's ridiculous. Make this a promise. Don't play Pakistan. Salman Butt has questioned. Salman Butt, of all people, a fixer of the highest order. Remember the News Nation report? Salman Butt. Ha! I mean, what amazing this is, boss. Shahid Afridi, here it is. Look at this. Shahid Afridi says, here, Shahid Afridi launched a scathing attack on India after Indian players pulled out.
Where is the quote?
Yes, here it is.
Here.
We are here to play cricket, and I've always said cricket should be kept away from politics. It should move forward. A player should be a good ambassador, not a source of embarrassment. So you mean to say, Mr. Afridi, that Harbhajan Singh, Yuvraj Singh, Suresh Raina, Yusuf Pathan, Irfan Pathan are embarrassments for India, is it? It would be much better if you look at your own country and stop making these idiotic, stupid statements, because you don't deserve to. You don't deserve to. No one takes you seriously. And by making these, you are making yourself a further joke. That's what you are, by the way. That's what you are.
Cricket and politics are separate. Who is
Absolute
the PCB
bullshit.
chair? Who is the PCB
Exactly.
chair? Who is he appointed by? Let's not even get into that.
Mohsin Naqvi, of all people, who doesn't even come to Dubai for the Champions Trophy because he could not pull it to Pakistan and he lost out to India's clout. He refuses to come to Dubai for the Champions Trophy final despite Pakistan being a host, and you are telling us politics does not mix? Good on you. What a joke.
I think we should wrap up the show.
Yeah, I mean, no
more super chats there.
The player got injured while gymming. Who's responsible for the weights?
Look, kabhi bhi kuch bhi ho sakta. You could be walking, and this has happened.
Kishore Mishra, let me answer this.
Okay.
Why should the Asia Cup be on then? Asia Cup is an international tournament guided by international. An Olympic Games will be on. A Commonwealth Games will be on, a Hockey World Cup will be on, a Junior World Cup will be on, everything will be on. That's an international tournament guided by international norms. This is a money-making exercise. Rank that. That's why. What hypocrite? What nonsense are you talking about? Do you even understand international sport at all? You bloody well don't.
I made this point multiple times in a live show yesterday, and I got so much flack for saying, for explaining the whole situation when it comes to the Hockey Junior World Cup and the Hockey
Junior World Cup. You are 100% right when you are saying the Hockey Junior World Cup is a World Cup governed by FIH. Who governs WCL? Is that even a recognized body? Who governs the Hockey World Cup? Do you guys even know international sport? Come on. Kishore Mishra, come on. You want to engage with me? I'm asking you. Come on. Write to me. Who organizes the Hockey World Cup? Tell me. FIH does. Who organizes the Olympic Games? The International Olympic Committee does. How many members are there in the FIH? How many members are there in the International Olympic Committee? Are these bodies internationally recognized or not? Is there a host city charter or not? Have these charters been signed or not? The Commonwealth Games organization, has it been signed or not? Do you guys even know when you're attacking her? And by the way, she was doing the show at my behest. It was a show that I insisted she does, and you give her flack for talking about a sensitive issue in the manner that she needs to. She's taking responsibility and onus in talking about a sensitive manner. What are you even talking about? You know jack about international sport.
Anyway, all right. More questions here. I think we've answered. We've pretty much discussed the playing 11. We've discussed everything that happened in the net sessions and everything that happened on the field as well. So we'll be back soon. When will we be?
कब करना है आप बताइए. इंग्लैंड का थोड़ा प्रैक्टिस देख के करें क्या?
इंग्लैंड का थोड़ा
कैप्टन वापस आ रहा है देखो बैटिंग करने के बाद.
हाँ, Shubman Gill is walking back into the dressing room.
And by the way, the sun has come out again.
With Shubman Gill, the sun follows. No, but we'll be back very soon. Maybe 1 hour later. one and a half hour later.
थोड़ा ब्रेक लो. थोड़ा इंग्लैंड का ट्रेनिंग देख के इंडिया का प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस देख के एक साथ रैप करेंगे.
बिल्कुल. Once the press conference is done,
so 2:30 England. Let's do it 7 p.m. India.
Done. 7 p.m. India. We'll be back. Thank you so much.